What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. As someone who loves his theorycraft, I love seeing new strategies rise up into the game, and the power of AP Ezreal mid with Smite and Runeglaive has been floating around a tiny bit, and I think it will soon gain a lot of popularity. Let's get started. With the power of the new Runeglaive item, Ezreal gains a lot of strengths that he couldn't before. Being able to build a jungle item is great since challenging Smite is crazy powerful in 1v1 scenarios, due to the true damage it applies, as well as the 20% damage reduction it puts on your opponent. Not to mention that it helps you farm up in the jungle quite effectively and can help you counter jungle reasonably well whenever you have some pressure in your lane. In addition, Ezreal procs the Runeglaive AP damage like crazy, and so it really gives him a lot of damage. And also, it makes his Mystic Shot entirely magic damage. Like, it changes the spell from being physical damage to now being completely 100% magic damage, which actually makes it a lot stronger since magic resistance tends to be a lot harder to itemize for compared to armor. Overall, this makes it do almost as much damage as you would with a Lichbane, since although Runeglaive has a 30% AP ratio while Lichbane has a 50% AP ratio, Lichbane does not change the base damage of Mystic Shot to being magic damage, and so with Lichbane it would be mixed damage, where the base damage often gets almost completely absorbed since you have no armor penetration. And not to mention, Runeglaive costs about 700 gold less than the Lichbane 2, and has a small area of effect damage on it as well. And add into the fact that by changing his Mystic Shot to magic damage, it also allows you to proc Luden's Echo with your Mystic Shots. And so overall, it makes this kit have a lot more reliable damage. And this just does a great job of helping him kill tanks in fights too, and so it turns out to be a reasonably strong pick that's starting to come up. His early laning phase can be a little bit weak until you finish up your Runeglaive, though, since your opponent will have an offensive summoner spell on you, but the poke from his Essence Flux is actually super good since it goes through the creep wave and has quite a high range, so he's pretty dominant in most melee matchups, as well as in some ranged matchups who might have a hard time fighting him in the creep wave. You do lack an offensive summoner spell in the early game though, so until you get your challenging Smite, you can still be very vulnerable to all-in fights as well as to burst damage. However, his high range and mobility can help you play a nice defensive style early on in the lane. And once you finally do pick up the Runeglaive, the power spike is actually really crazy and really unexpected too. And so I found myself being able to pick up kills with him quite easily when you first return to lane with your Runeglaive purchase, since mid laners are really not used to facing the damage reduction from challenging Smite, as well as they are very likely to underestimate his damage, since the jump from before and after he buys Runeglaive is really big. Later on in the game, he's fairly strong too, as long as you play a style similar to that of an AD carry. His poke is pretty insane, since both his Essence Flux and True Shot Barrage apply massive area of effect damage, and the Mystic Shot is super high range too, so you can kite, poke, chase, and put out a very solid amount of damage in fights. You can also burst people down too if you use your ultimate on them from the Fog of War and then jump in with an Arcane Shift, Essence Flux, and Mystic Damage combo, and you can potentially even just one-shot someone if you hit your entire kit on them, and so the snowballing potential is actually really strong due to the burst damage that he can put out if you find a creative way to land your skill shots. And with his mobility and high ranges, he's super safe, so if he gets a lead, he can really dominate a game. So what do you think? Try it out for yourself. Is AP Ezreal with Smite overpowered? I think it's definitely going to become a popular pick, especially as the win rate has shown to be fairly high, around 52% almost, and so I definitely expect to see him as a part of the new meta. And that just about wraps it up. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to help support me, as well as you can check out some of my other videos on the screen too. Thanks for watching, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.